Happy rails to you. Welcome back, my friends. Happy rails to you. It's good to see you again. Thanks for watching the channel and the videos. Sometimes they go real fast and sometimes they're slow. Happy rails to you. Thanks for watching. Okay, we're back. I've got the finials all off. Took the handrails off. Got the paint all stripped off of it. Got the handrail sitting down on the inside of it for now. And I stripped off some of the paint, or most of the paint. Not quite all of it, from the inside. We got the lens out of the boiler. And so we're going to strip it down as it's ready to paint. So bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and get it wiped down. And I'm going to use a alcohol solution to wipe it down with. We'll let it dry, and then we're going to paint it. Okay, well, we got it painted. Just put on the second coat, and we're letting it dry. All right, so got the engine repainted. It's all dry. I actually let it air dry for half a day, and brought it in overnight last night. Brought it in and put it in the oven for 30 minutes at 300 degrees. And there it is. Now, if you're wondering why I've got the vice grips on it, remember I told you in the preview, I think, that I was going to take a piece of aluminum, thin aluminum that I had, like this. This is actually a piece of cardstock, the same size. I've already used the piece of aluminum that I had left. This is a piece of cardstock, the same size, and I took this, and then I had punched out several of these. Let me just take you over here and let you look at them. Punched out several of these with the hole punch, and these are out of vinyl plastic. And they're just the right thickness and almost the perfect size of round. They're a little bit bigger than what I had hoped for, but they'll work for these steam engine bodies that have the hole in the side for the rewind, or for the wind-up shells. So I took this and put it on the inside of the shell, or a piece of aluminum. Put it on the inside of the shell. I put it on with super glue I made sure that that area was bare, and that way it'll make better contact, better adhesion to the surface. And then I took one of these and placed it down in and kind of over the hole. As I said, they're a little bit large. And then I used these vice grips. I used the vice grips because the clamp would have worked better, but my clamp's kind of large. If I'd had a smaller clamp, and I really wanted to put extra pressure on it, so that since it was a little larger than the hole, I could just get it down flat wherever it was outside of the hole itself. And that's what we've done. Just barely an edge there. There's the piece of aluminum. And when I get this done, I'm going to paint it black, of course, and it will all match and it will look okay. I'm going to sand it down just a little bit, very carefully around the edges, or file it a little bit around the edges of the circle. And this is glued in place also. Now, another way to fix this, if you have it, is to use liquid steel, which is a filler material, and it dries and it gets hard. Another thing would be plumber's putty. Works great. But if you use plumber's putty, you still want to put your backing on the back, on the underside, but drill a hole through it in the middle, so that a small hole in the middle, so that when you push your plumber's putty down into it, the plumber's putty will actually go through that hole in the middle of your backing. And when it dries, it will be anchored into that also. Okay, I'm going to put this vice grips back on here, and then we're going to set this aside, and I'm going to get the motor ready to go in here. While this is drying, I'm going to let it dry a little more. It's been on there for about an hour now, 45 minutes. And I'm going to set it to the side and get the motor ready. Okay. This is the motor I'm going to use. I had to change out, rebuilt this motor. I had to change out actually this wheel and one drive wheel, and put a gear in there. And of course I cleaned the brushes and put them in. The brushes were really good. I'm going to take this motor. This is double deduction. Also, I don't know whether you can see it or not, but this is a traction wheel, but I don't have the traction tire for it. So I'm using braid rubber bands. I've got like 3 or 4 braid rubber bands, so really small rubber bands for braids on there. They make great temporary traction tires. Um, this particular motor, you notice, does not have a smoke unit, and it was made for a I believe I took it out of a 666 that did not have smoke, and it has this wide platform for the front pony truck to ride, but it's set up wrong because these come to the back side. Let's get it down here where you can see it. These holes on this brace come to the back side, which is normal, but it's wrong to put in that 994 shell. And I can't turn this brace around because of the platform here. So I can't turn this brace around. So what I might have to do is take this brace off and put another brace on. We'll be using this, which is a standard Marks front mount. And we'll be putting it on this way with the arms for the screw mounts facing forward. All right, let's see if we can get that done. Real simple process. You take and you straighten out your two clips. Take the old one off. Line your holes up. Which I always have a problem doing with the arms in them. There we go. Add them both in. One went out and the other one. There we go. And twist them back. The way they work. Simple as that. And it's ready to mount. This motor is really good and tight. Matter of fact, I had it too tight there once and had to go back and loosen the wheels up a little bit. All right. So this is ready to mount, but we're not ready for the motor yet. So we're going to take it and put it back down here. We're going to get our shell. Take the vice grips off again. Put them up. It's looking good. What we're going to do is put the rails back on and the finials. Smokestack and the sand domes. Steam and sand dome. All right. Now, I tried to save the original cotter keys on these, but apparently one of them got away from me. All right, let's move that over there out of the way. Let me look down in here and see if I unintentionally put it over in here. No, I did not. So it's up here somewhere. Where, I do not know. And it's amazing how small things disappear right in front of your eyes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this one on first. This is for the left side facing you. This side. Doesn't want to cooperate today. And I'm trying to be ever so careful too about not banging up the paint job. I think the paint's good and hard, but I don't want to scratch it up and bang it up. There we go. I'm going to change this one around. For some reason, right? Either the rod got bent or I don't know. Thinking that's what happened. Nope, it's the right way. So I must have bent the rod somehow when I took it off. Oh. I'm all thumbs today, guys, so bear with me. It's been one of those days. Okay, now we gotta go in here and straighten this out. Bend these over. Kind of working in my own light today. Can't keep it up here where you can see it. Ordinarily, I don't have this much trouble with these. There we go. Okay. Now, since we don't have the other one, we're going to have to do is make one. And that's sometimes easier said than done. But I just happen to have the wire here to do it. Handy. I just bought me a brand new pair of mini needle nose pliers, so we got it going on. I could have done all this before we got to this point. But if I would have done that, then you wouldn't be able to have seen how to make a cotter key. Got to open it up slightly. Now this has got a little bit bigger head on it than what I'd like. And even though these are the midget needle nose, they're still a little wider than what we need them to be, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and put this in. And the why of that is because it's going to be easier putting the new one in now. And trying to put it in while it's attached to the wire. The problem might be with this one is I didn't make it long enough. There we go. Such a tight space in there. Can't really. That I actually probably hold it, but I like to have it down a little further in it. There we go. Put a yellow fire into. There we go. Also, we're going to put in the headlight while I'm thinking about it. Now, you don't have to hit it, just let the weight of the hammer drive down on it and hit it square because you don't want to break it off. Sometimes they'll just pop in with your thumb and pop out with your thumb, but sometimes they don't. So, okay, got those on, got that on. Now we'll tackle this. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of pieces of tape. My trusty tape stash here. Put a piece right there. And we're going to put a piece right here. Get it up where you can see I'm doing. Okay, now what we've done is we've taped around our white centerpiece. And I'm going to start off with my trusty file. What I'm doing, I don't know if you can see this or not. What I'm doing is filing off the edges of this thing. I put tape around it to help protect the rest of the paint. So I don't want to foul on any more than what I need to foul on. And the foul is the quickest way to take it down, besides using a grindstone. Fortunately, we didn't have that much to take down anyhow, so we're good. Folded this one in and now I can't get it out. Very little damage to the surface area around it. Now I could probably take that down a little more. And I might do it just very carefully, because it's just a right there. Right there. One right there. Got two of those. I like to keep matching screws. What's going on? I tell you, I'm just all thumbs today, guys. Well, I can guarantee you I won't find it right away this time. Well, it's in there. Okay, we got that done. Now we're going to put the motor in. Well, I got the screws in, and got it together, and here it is. Get the light out for you. We move it back a little more. And it is finished. My pad's not level here, so it's kind of low on this side and high in the middle. Got a calendar and a bunch of papers underneath it. Turned out really nice, I think, and really nice paint job, considering you guys didn't see it, but it rained that day, and while it was drying, so it got wet, but fortunately it was dry enough that the rain didn't hurt it, and so I still had to end up drying it down real good, and then shooting it with another coat of black, and put it on kind of heavy, and let it dry for half a day, and then stuck it in the oven at 300 degrees for half an hour. And so it turned out really nice. Paint's nice and hard, not hardly any blemishes in it at all, except for whatever blemishes there still were naturally in the shell itself, which was actually very few. Put the light in it, in the lens. We got the rails on. We showed you that in the earlier. And now that the motor's in, I didn't like these have this big space from here to here because they don't have a lead truck. And so there's a big gap space in the end of these. And so when the light's on, it shows the light down to the tracks. I didn't really like that. So what I did was I took some styrene, and this is actually the polyester polystyrene that's used on the vinyl blinds that go on your doors. And you guys know, if you're familiar, I use that quite a bit. I use it for fencing, for siding, on tin buildings, for roofing. And so I cut a piece. You see it here. And I don't know if you can see it, the ribs or not, but it has ribs in it. Let's see if we can get the light at a different angle. Maybe like that. And you can see these ribs in it. But I cut a piece and put it in, and then moved the wires back out a little bit to hold it in place up against this platform. And it's down in, under, and on top of this brace, so it won't go anywhere. Well, it just went up, but that's okay. Up is okay. Out is what we don't want it to do. And you can do that differently too, because you can actually cut the ends of this so that it slides onto this brace, and it won't go anywhere. But which is what I'll probably do. And if it does go up, all you have to do is take an ink pen or a pencil. Pencil would probably work better. Yeah, can't reach it with the pen, but because the bulb's there. But it's not going to hurt anything if it goes up, and I'm sure it'll drop back down. But anyway, it's just an idea, and it blocks the light out from shining on the tracks down below. Now, some people think it's kind of cool because it represents fire in the boiler, but the fire in the boiler is, you're not going to see it up here. You're going to see it back here. So it's not, significant. But I remember when I was a kid, I kind of liked that light going around. But as I've gotten older and I see it, it's kind of a distraction. I want to watch the trains and not the light. We'll put it on the track. Let's see how it does. All right, here we go. Oops. You notice you don't see the light at the bottom shining. Out from underneath the bottom of the unit. You do see it, however, right in here where it comes through the parts of the body where the body comes together. There's enough gap in there that the light actually shows through. You see it? Now I may add a red screen or a red plastic lens under the smokestack. Looks pretty cool. They did it with American Flyer, and they did it with marks on the Mercury and the Commodore engines. I think it looks pretty cool. So we might do that. Or even kind of a light gray smoke might be neat with a little reddish tint. I don't know. But we'll see. But anyway, if you don't want, guys, if you don't want the light shining through the bottom down here, this is all you have to do. It's just make you a little plastic, or you could probably use cardboard because it's far enough away from the light. It's down, it's going to be at least 1.5 inches, 2 inches away from the light. So it's far enough away from the light that you don't have to worry about it. And just put it up in there. And as I say, you can trim down the sides of this on this end to slide in get it around a little more to that bar. Okay. Slide into this bar under on this ledge right here, and it will stay there. It's going to be held by these two prongs, in the ledge. And the prongs keep it from, and the side rods themselves will keep it from dropping down. It won't touch the side rods because this is way below the side rods, actually. I don't know whether you can tell or not, but it is. It's below the side rods. These prongs will hold it down. It'll stay there. It's long enough that on this end, there's pressure against it. I didn't do that. I set it down underneath it. And cut it to fit. And just use the bent over portion of your handrails on the bottom, which normally sit here anyway. Usually they're turned in, but it doesn't hurt them to turn them out, as you can see. And it'll hold that perfectly in place. And the light won't shine out from the bottom. Now I'm going to paint this black. And that'll do it. Here's the rubber bands that I use for the traction tire. You see they're working just fine. Now, like I say, these are just temporary. These won't last forever. They'll eventually dry out and break off, or if you run this train constantly, depending upon how constant you run it, these rubber bands will eventually wear down and wear out or break off, which won't hurt anything. You just lose the rubber bands. But so I would advise getting traction tires for it eventually, which is what I'm going to do for this. I'm going to get a traction tire for it, or I'm going to find a better an O-ring or something that will work on here instead. Okay, well, that's all I have for you guys on this episode for saving the junk. And this is one of those things I'm glad I did. I'm going to be out in the shop for probably this week, if the Lord says the same and the weather holds out, where I can get out there and do it. And hopefully by next weekend, we'll be able to run trains. That's not a promise, but we'll see what happens. Until next time, guys, as I always say, though, if you enjoy running, operating your trains, working on your layout, refurbishing, rebuilding, restoring, just changing your scenery around, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, even if it's not a train hobby, but it's a model car hobby or a craft hobby or some other hobby, you should have happy rails in your life. And remember that God loves you and Jesus Christ is Lord. All right. Happy rails and God bless. Till next time. Bye-bye.